Maybe today you feel tired, like the world has forgotten your name. You wake up and the same struggles greet you again. You smile in front of people, but deep down your heart is heavy. You try to stay strong, but sometimes even breathing feels like a battle. My friend, I want you to know this: Jesus sees that pain. You are not invisible to him. He knows every silent tear you've cried, every night you felt alone, and every prayer that you whispered when no one else was listening. He has not forgotten you. God is not punishing you, He's preparing you. The pain you feel right now is not the end of your story, it's the shaping of your soul for something greater. When Jesus walked the earth, He didn't choose perfect people. He walked with the broken, the rejected, the doubters, and the lost. He sat beside those who were hurting and said, "You are loved." And that same voice is speaking to you right now. No matter what you've done, no matter how many times you've failed, God's mercy is bigger than your mistakes. You may feel unworthy, but grace was never about worthiness, it was always about love. Sometimes God allows storms not to destroy us, but to strengthen what's inside us. Every storm has a lesson. When you feel like everything around you is falling apart, maybe God is rebuilding something inside you. You might not see it now, but He's working behind the scenes. Remember, when the seed is buried, it looks like it's been forgotten, but it's actually growing roots in the dark. You're growing even when it feels like you're buried. There will be days when your faith feels weak, when you question if God even hears you. But faith is not about never doubting, it's about trusting even when you don't understand. God's silence is not His absence. He is speaking even when you can't hear Him. Sometimes He doesn't remove the mountain because He's teaching you how to climb it. Sometimes He doesn't calm the storm because He wants to show you He can calm you in the middle. You are not forgotten. The same God who created the stars also wrote your name on His heart. You are not too broken for God to use. You are not too far gone for His love to reach you. Maybe you've made mistakes, maybe you've walked away, but God never stopped waiting for you. Every time you fall, He's right there whispering, "Get back up, I'm not done with you yet." You don't need to be perfect to be loved by God. You just need to be willing to let Him in. Because the moment you do, everything begins to change. The darkness doesn't win. The pain doesn't last forever. Joy comes again. Healing comes again. And purpose returns stronger than ever. If life has been heavy, take a deep breath. You don't have to carry everything alone. Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Lay it all down. The anxiety, the fear, the guilt, the confusion, give it to Him. Let go of trying to control everything. You don't have to figure it all out, you just have to trust the one who already has. Sometimes the breakthrough doesn't come overnight. It takes time. But every waiting season has a reason. God is building endurance inside you. He is teaching you to walk by faith and not by sight. The doors you thought were closed forever will open in His timing. The prayers you thought were ignored are being answered in ways you don't yet see. Don't give up. Even when you feel like nothing is changing, keep believing. Because the moment you choose to trust instead of fear, everything shifts. Heaven begins to move when you choose faith over fear. Every tear you've cried is being counted, every prayer recorded, every pain redeemed. One day, you will look back and realize that the season that almost broke you was the same season that made you. The pain that made you cry will be the reason you help others heal. God is turning your story into someone else's hope. You're not just surviving, you're being transformed. So, my friend, hold on. Keep your. Maybe right now, you are walking through a season that feels heavy, like the light has gone out and the silence is too loud. You pray, but it feels like no one is listening. You try to smile, but inside you're breaking. You look at others and wonder why their life seems so perfect while yours feels so shattered. But my friend, God is not ignoring you. He is refining you. Sometimes He hides His face not to abandon you, but to strengthen your faith. When the night gets darker, it only means the dawn is near. Don't mistake your pain for God's absence, it's often the place where His greatest work begins. Remember Joseph? Betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, and forgotten in prison, yet all that pain led him to the palace. What the enemy meant for harm, God turned into purpose. And He will do the same for you. The rejection that hurt you was protection. The door that closed was direction. Every disappointment was divine redirection. God never wastes pain, not a single tear, not a single heartbreak. Everything you've walked through is shaping you for where He's taking you next. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll look back and thank God for the things He didn't give you. Because what you thought was delay was actually preparation. You see, before God gives you what you've been praying for, He prepares you to handle it. He strengthens your faith so that when the blessing comes, you won't break under its weight. The waiting is never wasted. Sometimes, God slows you down because He knows if He let you move faster, you might walk into something that could destroy you. So if things feel slow right now, be still. The same God who split the sea can part your problems too, but in His time, not yours. There are moments when you feel like giving up, like the fire inside you is fading. But that's when God whispers, "You're closer than you think." Every great story in the Bible had a moment of breaking before the breakthrough. Moses was ready to quit before God parted the sea. David was hiding in caves before he wore the crown. Even Jesus carried the cross before the resurrection. The breaking always comes before the blessing. And maybe this is your breaking season, the place where your strength ends and His begins. Stop fighting alone. Surrender your pain. Let Him carry it. Because the moment you let go, grace steps in. Grace is the strength you never knew you had. Grace is the peace that doesn't make sense. Grace is the voice that says, "You're still mine, even when you've fallen again." When life hits you hard, don't run from God, run to Him. He's not mad at you. He's madly in love with you. The same hands that created galaxies are the hands reaching out to hold you now. Don't let shame make you hide, let love make you rise. Because every scar tells a story, and your scars are proof that grace won. God doesn't choose the qualified, He qualifies the chosen. And you, my friend, are chosen. You were never a mistake. You were never unwanted. Even before you were born, He had a plan for your life, plans to give you hope and a future. So stop looking back at who you used to be and start walking. There comes a moment after every storm when the rain finally stops, and the world grows quiet again. You step out, the air feels different, but your heart still carries the memory of the thunder. That's where healing begins, not when the pain completely disappears, but when you start believing that joy can return. You've been through so much, cried more than anyone knows, and prayed prayers that no one else heard. But look at you, you're still standing. That's not weakness, that's grace. God didn't let the pain destroy you. He's been carrying you, even when you thought you were walking alone. Healing is not always loud. Sometimes it's silent, small moments of peace between waves of sadness. It's when you wake up and realize the weight doesn't feel as heavy as yesterday. It's when you laugh again after a long time and it surprises you. That's God, quietly rebuilding your heart. Every piece that broke is being placed back together, not the same as before, but stronger, softer, wiser. Don't rush the healing. God doesn't fix you in a moment, He grows you through the process. Because what He's building inside you now will help others one day. The same pain that once broke you will become the reason someone else keeps going. You'll tell your story, and someone else will find strength in it. That's how God redeems pain, He turns it into purpose. Sometimes you'll miss people who are no longer in your life. Sometimes memories will sting. But remember, some endings are God's way of creating new beginnings. The people who left weren't meant to stay where you're going. The pain that once defined you will become a testimony of how far His grace has carried you. Maybe you still feel lost, and that's okay. God isn't asking you to have everything figured out. He's just asking you to keep walking, one step at a time. Healing is not about forgetting what happened, it's about remembering without the same pain. It's when you can look back and say, it hurt, but it didn't. And in those quiet moments when doubt whispers, you'll never be the same, let faith answer, no, I'll be stronger than ever. Because you will. You will laugh again. You will love again. You will dream again. The heart that was once shattered will become a vessel of compassion. The hands that once trembled will lift others up. God is not done with you. He's still writing your story. Every sunrise you see is His reminder that it's not over. Even the scars you carry, they're not ugly. They're proof that you survived. Proof that grace is real. Proof that you're still here for a reason. So tonight, let your heart rest. Let the healing happen. You don't need to be strong all the time, you just need to stay in His arms. You don't have to understand the whole plan, just trust the one who holds it. You are healing, even if you can't see it yet. And one day, you'll wake up and realize the pain no longer controls you. That's when you'll know God finished what He started. You didn't think you'd make it this far, but you did. You survived the storm that was supposed to break you. You walked through nights that seemed endless, and somehow, the sun still rose for you. That's not luck. That's God. That's grace. When you thought it was over, heaven whispered, I'm not done yet. And now, here you are breathing, standing, and healing. You're not who you were before the pain. You're stronger, wiser, and more beautiful in spirit than ever before. God has been rebuilding you piece by piece, quietly and carefully. Every moment you thought you were being delayed, you were actually being developed. Every time you cried, he was planting seeds of restoration. And now, those seeds are starting to grow. The peace that you thought you lost forever is coming back. The hope that died in your heart is being revived. You can feel it, can't you? That soft whisper inside that says, maybe everything will be okay. That's God breathing new life into your soul. You see, when God restores, He doesn't just replace what was lost, He multiplies it. He gives back double for the pain you endured. The relationships you lost, the dreams that faded, the time that felt wasted, none of it is gone forever. He will bring beauty out of ashes. He will turn your mourning into dancing. You will smile again, not because everything is perfect, but because you've seen how faithful God can be even when life isn't. There was a time you prayed just to survive. Now, God is calling you to thrive. He's opening doors that once felt permanently closed. He's placing people in your life who bring peace instead of pain. The blessings coming your way won't just make you happy, they'll remind you that God never forgot your name. You're entering a season of restoration, not just of what you lost, but of who you are. You'll laugh without fear again. You'll walk without anxiety again. You'll wake up with peace instead of panic. Because God has been restoring your heart from the inside out. He didn't just save you from the storm, He changed you through it. You are no longer the broken version of yourself, you are becoming the healed, fearless, faith-filled version God always saw. And when you look back, you'll realize, every closed door was protection, every delay was preparation, every heartbreak was direction. You'll see how He used every piece of your story, even the painful ones, to write something beautiful. The very pain that once broke you will become the platform where your purpose stands. God is saying to you right now, my child, I know you were tired. I saw your tears. But now, I am restoring you. I am bringing you peace that you thought you'd never feel again. I am giving you strength that will shock even you. So lift your head. Stop living in yesterday's wounds, start walking in tomorrow's miracles. Your story is shifting. The same God who brought you through the valley is now taking you to the mountain. You will rise, not because you are strong, but because He is faithful. Your life is not over, it's just beginning. The chapter you're walking into now will make sense of every tear you cried. You're not just recovering, you're rising. You're not just existing, you're living again. Hope didn't die, it was reborn inside you. And maybe someone watching this right now feels like hope is gone. Listen to me, it's not. It's still there, buried under the weight of pain, waiting for you to believe again. So take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Whisper these words, God, I still believe. That's enough. That's where restoration begins. You've come a long way. You've cried tears that nobody saw, fought battles that no one understood, and survived storms that were meant to destroy you. But now, look at you. Still here. Still breathing. Still believing. That's not weakness, that's strength covered in grace. Every scar on your heart is proof that God carried you when you couldn't walk. Every time you thought it was over, heaven whispered, "Not yet." You are still standing, because God wasn't finished with your story. Now, as you step into this new chapter, don't look back with regret, look forward with faith. The past may have shaped you, but it doesn't define you anymore. You are free. You are renewed. You are chosen for greater things. The pain you once carried has turned into wisdom. The loneliness you once felt has turned into strength. And the silence you once feared has become the place where you now hear God's voice the clearest. God doesn't just bring you out of storms, He teaches you how to walk with Him through calm waters. The same hands that held you in the fire will now guide you through peace. So take His hand again, not because you're afraid, but because you trust Him. You've seen what He can do. You've seen how He can turn ashes into beauty, how He can bring light from darkness, and how He can breathe life into what felt dead. Now it's time to live differently. Wake up each day knowing you are not alone. Every sunrise is a reminder that His mercy is new. Every breath is proof that your purpose isn't done. And every moment is another chance to walk in His grace. Don't rush. Don't fear. Just walk one step at a time, one prayer at a time, one moment at a time. Because when you walk with God, even the slowest journey leads to the most beautiful destination. There will still be challenges. There will still be moments when you feel tired or lost. But this time, you'll know the truth, you're never walking alone. God is beside you in the quiet, within you in the struggle, and ahead. Of you in the unknown. You may not see what's next, but He does. You just have to trust that His plan is greater than your worry. And when you feel fear rising, remember this: the same God who parted the sea will make a way for you. The same Jesus who calmed the storm can calm your heart. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives inside you. That means you have divine power to rise, rebuild, and shine. You are not small. You are chosen. You are covered by grace. So let go of the pain that tried to break you. Let go of the guilt that keeps you trapped. Let go of the fear that tells you you're not enough. You are more than your mistakes. You are more than your past. You are God's masterpiece, perfectly loved, fully forgiven, and eternally valued. And if you ever feel like you're slipping again, don't hide. Run back to Him. His arms are still open. His heart is still kind. His mercy still flows like an endless river. He never stopped loving you, not even for a second. This is your new beginning. Walk with peace. Walk with purpose. Walk with Jesus. Because now you know storms may come, but they don't define you. Pain may visit, but it doesn't own you. And no matter what happens next, you are safe in His hands. The night has ended. The dawn has come. It's your time to shine again. You've walked through the fire. You've crossed the storms. You've cried in silence and smiled in pain. But now, as the light begins to rise again, feel this truth in your soul: God never left you. Every tear you shed watered the seed of your breakthrough. Every why, God, became the beginning of a thank you, Jesus. You are not the same person you were when this journey began. You're stronger, softer, and wiser. You've learned that real strength isn't about fighting harder, it's about trusting deeper. You've learned that faith isn't about having all the answers, it's about walking even when the road disappears. There were moments you almost gave up. When prayers felt unanswered, and silence felt heavy. But what you didn't see was how heaven was working behind every delay. God wasn't ignoring you, He was preparing you. He was building your roots deeper so your faith could stand stronger. He was removing what could break you later. Every closed door was protection, not rejection. Now look around, the same life that once felt empty is now glowing with hope. The same heart that was once shattered now beats with purpose. The same voice that once cried for help now speaks words of faith. That's what grace does. It doesn't just heal you, it transforms you. And this is what God wants you to know right now: you made it. You've come out of your valley. You've survived your test. You've walked through the wilderness and found the living water. You don't have to run anymore. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to carry what He already forgave. So breathe. Rest. Let your soul finally be still. The storm is over. The war inside your heart is ending. Feel the peace that only Jesus can give. The peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, but comes from knowing who walks beside you. Maybe your next chapter is unknown, but that's okay. You don't need to know what's next when you know who leads you. And He, my friend, is faithful. If He brought you this far, He'll carry you the rest of the way. The future is not something to fear, it's something to walk into, hand in hand with God. So step forward with courage. Step forward with joy. Step forward knowing that every step you take is guided by His love. When doubts whisper, "You can't," remember the cross that says, "You can." When fear says, "You're alone," remember the tomb that's empty, because your Savior lives. When darkness says, "This is the end," remember who you belong to, the one who writes new beginnings. This is your moment to rise again. To love again. To dream again. To live again. And this time, you're not just living for survival, you're living for purpose. Because everything you've been through wasn't wasted. God used it all, every tear, every loss, every moment, to prepare you for something greater. So lift your head. Smile again. Thank Him again. And move forward, not as the broken version of you, but as the healed one. You've seen the valley, now walk into your mountain. You've been tested, now walk into your testimony. Because this is not the end, it's the beginning of a life led by grace. You've carried so much for so long. You've prayed in the quiet hours, wondering if God still hears you. You've walked through nights that felt endless, but tonight, the dawn begins to rise inside your soul. Listen, that voice inside your heart saying, "Don't give up," that's not you talking to yourself. That's God reminding you that you were made for more. Every challenge that tried to destroy you has only revealed the strength He planted in you before you were even born. You are not a mistake. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are exactly where God needs you to be for the miracle He's preparing. The waiting was not wasted. Every season of silence was a setup for something sacred. Sometimes God allows the storm not to break you, but to teach you how to walk on water. Sometimes He lets you fall so that when He lifts you, you'll know it was His hand that saved you. That's what faith really is: walking even when you don't see, believing even when you don't feel, trusting even when you don't understand. And maybe life hasn't been fair. Maybe people left, promises broke, and plans fell apart. But look at you, you're still standing. You're still breathing. You're still here. That means God isn't finished with you yet. You're still in His story, and the pen is still in His hand. He's writing something beautiful out of your pain. He's turning what was meant to destroy you into the very thing that will define your strength. Your scars aren't your shame, they're proof that grace works. When you couldn't see a way, He was making one. When you thought you lost everything, He was building something better. When you said, "God, I can't do this anymore," He whispered, "You don't have to, I'm with you." So stop worrying about what's next and start resting in what's true: you are loved. You are chosen. You are protected. Even when life feels chaotic, heaven is not confused. God still has full control. Your destiny isn't cancelled because of your mistakes. His mercy is bigger than your mess. Your future isn't gone because of your past. His grace rewrites your story every single day. Don't let fear speak louder than faith. Don't let failure define your worth. Don't let pain blind you to the promise that's waiting. You're not just surviving anymore, you're stepping into your purpose. And one day soon, you'll look back and say, "Now I understand why I had to go through it all." Because everything you lost made room for what God was preparing. Everything that hurt you taught you how to heal others. Everything that ended opened the door to something eternal. You're not walking alone anymore. You're walking with the King who conquered death, who spoke life into dust, and who still calls your name with love. So lift your eyes. The storm clouds are breaking. The light is returning. The story isn't over, it's being rewritten by the author of hope. This is your new beginning. Step into it boldly. Step into it with faith. Step into it knowing that you've already won, because Jesus already paid the price. You've come so far. You've walked through darkness, cried through pain, prayed through silence, and waited through storms. But now, you've reached a holy place, a place of peace. A place where your soul finally understands what your heart has been searching for all along: God was with you through it all. Every tear was seen. Every whisper was heard. Every prayer that felt unanswered was actually being written into the story that brought you here. You were never alone, not for one single second. Sometimes, God allows the breaking so He can rebuild you stronger. Sometimes He takes away what you thought you needed so you can find what truly matters to Him. You were chasing peace, but peace was never out there. It was always in His presence. Now close your eyes for a moment. Think about how far you've come. The battles you fought, the nights you survived, the moments you said, "I can't do this anymore," yet somehow, you did. You made it. Not because you were strong enough, but because He carried you. Look at your life now. It's not perfect, but it's proof of grace. The fact that you're still standing means God's purpose is still alive in you. You are a walking miracle, a living testimony, a heartbeat of hope. God didn't just save you from something, He's saving you for something. There's a mission inside you, a calling, a divine purpose that only you can fulfill. You've been shaped by pain, but now you'll lead others toward healing. You've been refined in fire, but now you'll shine brighter than ever. So don't hide your scars, show them. Because your scars are proof that you fought a battle with God by your side, and won. You may not know what tomorrow brings, but you know who holds tomorrow. And that's enough. Even if the road ahead is uncertain, even if challenges come again, you'll walk differently now, not in fear, but in faith. Not in anxiety, but in peace. And when people see your light, they'll ask, "What changed?" You'll smile and say, "Nothing." But Jesus. Because it was always Him in every moment, in every struggle, in every breath. When you couldn't see the way, He was lighting it. When you couldn't stand, He was holding you. When you couldn't love yourself, He was loving you anyway. So now, let go of the past. Release the pain. Forgive the ones who hurt you, because freedom starts there. You can't step into your new season while carrying yesterday's weight. Leave it all at the feet of Jesus, the guilt, the shame, the fear, the doubt. Walk into this new chapter with open hands and a healed heart. The same God who started your story will finish it beautifully. The same God who calmed your storms will bless your tomorrow. And when you feel alone again, remember this voice. Remember this peace. Remember this truth. You are loved beyond measure. You are chosen for a reason. You are a child of the living God. So breathe deep, smile wide, and whisper, "Thank you, Jesus." Because your story didn't end in pain, it ended in peace. And peace is where God lives. You've come to the end of this journey, but this is not really the end, it's the beginning of something new, something sacred. You've spent hours walking through stories of faith, of pain, of hope, and of love. And now, as you sit here, something inside you feels different, lighter, softer, healed. That's not just emotion, that's God touching your spirit. He wants you to know that everything you've been through, every heartbreak, every disappointment, every silent night, was never wasted. It was shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. Because before you were born, He already saw this moment, this very moment, where you would feel His presence, not just in words, but in your soul. You see, God's love isn't just a story in a book. It's alive. It's breathing. It's reaching for you right now. When He said, "I will never leave you," He meant it even when you walked away. When He said, "You are forgiven," He meant it even when you thought you weren't worthy. When He said, "You are mine," He meant it forever. So stop running from your past. It's already forgiven. Stop doubting your worth. He already chose you. Stop fearing your future. He already planned it with care. You are not what happened to you, you are what God is doing through you. The pain that broke you is the same pain that built you. The tears that fell are the same ones watering your purpose. Right now, God is saying, "My child, you've carried this weight for too long. Lay it down. Let me take it." You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be willing to trust me again. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the what-ifs. Let go of the people who couldn't see your worth. Because your value doesn't come from their approval, it comes from His love. This world will try to define you by your mistakes, but heaven defines you by your potential. The enemy will remind you of your failures, but God whispers your future. The world will say you can't, but the cross says you already did. And one day, when you look back on this season, you'll smile and say, "Now I understand. God was protecting me all along." The pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The delay wasn't denial, it was direction. The silence wasn't absence, it was God's gentle voice saying, "Wait, I'm working." So now, rise. Lift your head high. You're not broken anymore, you're restored. You're not lost anymore, you're found. You're not forgotten, you are chosen, loved, and called. And as you move forward, remember this, you carry light. The world needs your story, your faith, your kindness. You might not change everyone, but you can inspire someone. You might not heal the whole world, but you can bring peace to one heart, and maybe that heart starts with yours. Don't hide what God has done for you, let your light shine so others can see His glory through you. This isn't just a message, this is a calling. You've been chosen for a reason. So walk boldly. Speak gently. Love deeply. Forgive freely. And when life feels heavy again, come back to this moment, this peace, this reminder that you were loved by the one who created the stars and still knows your name.